I go to my house on my bicycle. I hop off, and I see a group of people at my driveway. I hear splashing in my pool. Then I heard an entitled mother say she loves her new house. This is exactly what happened. Hi. For a little backstory, I live in a nice house. It's right on the beach, and I take good care of it, and my garden, so it's not strange to see people admiring my home. I'm also a teenager and basically live alone. My dad and mom both work in other states and travel a lot, and my sister lives with her fiance. I can drive, do laundry, go grocery shopping, so this isn't too weird. I don't like driving, so I usually just bicycle everywhere and have a pool in my backyard. Okay, on to the story. Okay, so I just had a long day at work and have a few groceries with me on my bike. I just want to take a nice hot shower, and I look like death in my fast food uniform. As I pull onto my street, I see a line of people blocking my driveway. Like, fully blocking. I pull onto the sidewalk and start walking my bike towards the group. And I overhear a confused friend number 1 talking about how happy she is for entitled mother and how beautiful her new home is. I'm like, what? No house nearby was sold or is even on the market. So I try to get to my garage. Hey, can I get past, please? Just go around, can't you see we're busy? Oh, I just need to drop off my bike in the garage, and then I'll be out of your way. I'm glad you like the house, though. I try to take care of it. I think you might be confusing. Entitled mother actually lives here. No, this is my house. I live here. I don't know her. You're obviously trying to break into my house and get away before I call the police. No, you need to leave. I'll not get off my property. At this point, I just push past and head towards the garage. That's when I hear the splashing. No one should be in the pool, so I drop my bike and run to the backyard and see 3 kids swimming in my pool. Duck that. I raise my voice and tell them to get the F out. A set of confused twins both get out, but are obviously confused. But the entitled kid of the story stays in it. My mommy says I can go swim. Go away, you beep! No, I'm not responsible for you drowning. Get the hell out of my pool and off my property. Don't talk to my angel that way. It's his pool. Hey, says confused onlooker. Entitled mother? What's going on? Who's the girl? She's trying to rob me. Get the F out, kid. I start to panic at this point. Well, prove it. Prove that you live here. At this point, confused friend number 2 tells EM that they should go inside the house because the kids should not be here for this argument. And I say, like hell you're going into my home. Yes, we are going inside. Now go away, girl, before I call the police. Fine. I dare you to get in. The group climbs up the stairs. Obviously, entitled mother did not think this through. Only 2 keys to this house exist. My key and my sister's. I lock up my bike, grab my groceries, and push past entitled mother. She's making excuses to her friends about why the key doesn't work. Excuse me, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go into my home now. At this point, confused friend number 2 starts asking entitled mom what the heck is going on. I close the door and lock it as entitled mother is banging on my door, screaming about how she's gonna call the cops. Well, I called the cops, not her. She ran off as soon as she saw the cop cars, and the friend stayed behind very confused. They explained that entitled mother had told them this was her house, and that they were just going to go swim in the pool, and then head to the beach so they would never go in the house. Later on, no charges are pressed on entitled mother, and I don't know, I just hope she learns her lesson. Can you imagine the entitlement of this? Guys, I thought that this was super bizarre, but I was skimming through the comments and it turns out in beach communities like this, some of the neighbors will take advantage of houses that look vacant because a lot of these houses are vacation homes. So, what this person tried to do is convince her family it was her house because she thought no one was there. I cannot believe that it ended this way, but what a bizarre story. The title and theme of today's video is all entitled mother stories. I have 2 more entitled mother stories for you, and let me just say, they get better and better each one. So wait till the end for the grand finale. We'll talk about it in the comment section down below. Here comes story number 2. Brief backstory. Back in March, I, 25 female, and my partner, 27 male, bought a house. Big deal for us, and we're so glad we managed to pull this off, especially right after the pandemic got bad. It's a livable fixer-upper. The lady that lived here bought it in '67 and was the only owner before us, and she made no updates in all that time. Laugh out loud. It keeps us busy, and that's worked out really well being home so often. Now to the event with entitled Mother. In May, my big project was pulling out some nasty bushes that had taken over a huge chunk of the front side yard. It was hot, it was sweaty. I'm digging out roots and throwing branches left and right. As I'm right up front and making a pretty drastic change to the yard, people start to notice. Most neighbors stop by and say a quick hello from the car and drive away. But not entitled Mother. Entitled Mother pulls up in a shiny black Suburban from the opposite side of the road, parks the wrong way and rolls down her window. I'd say she's in her 50s or 60s with gray-white bob-cut hair. I stand up, pause my music, and the following conversation isn't exact, but it's pretty close as this conversation was just so entitled. "Hey, did you buy this house?" Yeah, I just moved in last month." "Did you know the family?" That sold it? No, not really. We just got lucky they chose us, I guess." "Yeah, my son really wanted this house. He grew up in this neighborhood, you know." "Oh, well, darn. Yeah, houses move fast right now." "He spent his whole life in this area. He really deserved to stay in the neighborhood, you know." "Yeah, that's too bad." Major feelings of WTF right now. "How much did you offer?" I'm not about to tell her the details, so I say, "Over asking price. We were proactive." "Well, my son really wanted the house." Me feeling awkward with this whole situation and just looking to shoo this lady along, I say, "Yeah, well, I'm sure more houses will go up for sale around here." "Well, that doesn't help him now, does it? He had his heart set on this house." I just exaggeratedly shrugged and decided to resume my root cutting, just to try to give her the message to leave. "You're probably flipping it. He would have loved it." No we're not. We're staying long term." "Yeah, right." She doesn't leave. I'm wondering if I should just go inside or something. She just keeps looking at me, expecting me to say something. I keep cutting root after root. "Is it just you, or did your whole family help you get it?" Me getting pretty short in tone. "My partner and I bought it together." "My grandkids would have loved the yard. A loved yard makes a house a home, you know." Me, not looking up, saying, "Well, my dogs will love it, especially once I'm done." "Seriously?" I just scoff, pull my root out, throw it in a pile, and I feel her eyes watching me. Really ready to be done, I say, "Well, have a good day." Then, with the last glare of an she speeds off, leaving a quite annoyed and bewildered me in my dirty glory mulling over what the heck just happened. Did this freaking lady just try to guilt trip me because we bought a house her son wanted? Indeed, apparently, What the heck? Imagine you're minding your own business, working on your lawn and tidying up around the house, when this entitled mother slams her Suburban with the brakes and says, "Hey, my son was going to buy this home." Guys, I know nothing crazy happened this story, but just imagine living there and the future stories that OP is going to have from this crazy entitled mother. Okay, like I said, the final story is the grand finale. It involves an entitled mother, aka a Karen, OP, and a little baby who's basically in distress. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's hop into today's final story. Before I get started, this is a needed to know detail. It was ducking hot. It was about 35 degrees Celsius, but it felt like 44. So basically over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. This is an important detail for later. So I was standing in line at the checkout at my local supermarket. I think in total I had about 10 items, some frozen goods, drinks, and snacks. I usually tend to take out or one of the buds of my phone in case someone addressed me and I would hear them. At this time, the woman at the cash register was taking care of the payment of one client, and there was one person in front of me. And then suddenly she appeared, the entitled mother of the story. Now honestly, she did not look it. She did not even give off a mean vibe or anything. Even the way she started talking to me was overall nice and polite, at first. "Excuse me, do you mind if I skip ahead? I'm in a hurry." Now, in general, if somebody politely asks me this and I don't have any urgent business of my own, I usually don't mind. This time, however, I did not have that many groceries, so her delay would be at most a few minutes, while she was pushing a fully loaded shopping cart in front of her. So if I would have let her skip, it probably still would be in the store for another 20 minutes. So I politely decline, and I tell her I'll hurry as much as I can. Of course, this come to great offense. I've not given this woman her entitlement. She blew up instantly, yelling and screaming at me that she was in a hurry and not kidding here, had to be home in time for her TV show. Now, at this time, I would like to point out that during this rant, she only said she had to be home in time for shows, and that they were very important to her, and there was nothing else making this urgent for her. This is important later. Now, while this woman was going off, the person at the cash register went into ignore mode and just started scanning my groceries, which I loaded into the bag while the entitled mother was going on and on about how I was a piece of garbage and they should ban me from the store. Now, this should have been the end of it, just to turn around and go home and forget this happened. But then, she said something that, number one, made me almost want to kill her, and number two, made this a postable story. While I was walking away, just about to put the earbud back in, she yells this: "If you pass by my car, tell my son he's the reason he has to wait another half hour on me." Now, I'm not an extremely smart person, but at this moment, my brain just made some connections quickly. What I realized is, number one, again, it's very hot outside. Number two, this woman has been in the store for a while, judging on her grocery amount. Number three, the entire parking lot of this store had almost no shade. Number four, it was peak sun, 2 p.m. I rushed outside and started running past cars, scanning for the kids inside. Thankfully, the first cars I passed has a small child laying in the back seat. The kid is pale as a ghost, sweating like crazy, and it looked like he was only half conscious. I run back inside, and to my utter astonishment, this jerk is having a conversation with the cashier while she's checking out her groceries. I grab her by the shoulders, spin her around, and yell almost straight to her face that her kid is literally dying in the car. And if you don't do something right now, I'm smashing in your windows and calling the police. At first, she looked at me in complete disbelief and confusion. probably never to be spoken to like that before in her life. Then the realization of what I told her sunk in and she rushed outside. While she went outside, a man tapped me on the shoulder and asked what happened. I explained the situation, actually leaving out the bit at the cash register, just saying I saw a kid in the car and knew that this woman was probably the owner. He went outside, and when I came outside, the entitled mother suddenly rushed to me and got in my face, saying I was the reason she was in the store for so long and her son's current condition was my fault. Before I could even respond, the man that approached me earlier speaks up. Turns out that this man was an off-duty cop and had been in the store for a while, and as such knew that actually delay caused by me could have not caused this. He also said he had already called an ambulance for the kid and the cops for her. I don't know what happened to the entitled mother, but she completely crashed. She just sat down on the pavement and started shaking her head, not saying much except the occasional sob or, "It's not my fault." As for the ending, everything turned out okay for most parties. I stayed a while to give a statement to the police and my contact info in case I went to court. The kid was okay afterwards, and since his mom got arrested, they called his dad or some other family member, I didn't ask, to accompany him to the hospital. As for the entitled mother, I'm assuming she's going to have to stand trial for child endangerment. Not sure if she'll just get a fine or jail time. Okay guys, so I have an update for you. I was contacted by the police a few days ago, last Friday. I went to the station where they went over my statement and asked if I wanted to add or amend anything. I said I didn't. They could not really tell me directly what was going to happen with that mother of the family in general, but said that the standard punishment is usually a gas fine. Gas stands for a sanction in Dutch and municipal administration sanction in English. I think it's kind of sad something bad has to happen before serious punishment would be handed out. I do not know what the amount the fine will be, but as for me, it could not be high enough. I've not seen any of those people in the store or in the area in general, but I also don't know if they live near here or were just passing by to the store out of coincidence. Or maybe they're just avoiding the store. That's also possible. I know many of you hope that something terrible would happen to the mother, but sadly, life is not fair, but at least the child lived. And let's hope the mother learned a lesson. I do have an opinion on this story, but I want to point out what would have happened if this off-duty police officer wasn't there and saw everything that happened. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think OP would have done? Went ahead and called the police, just left after the shouting match, if the cop wasn't there? I would love to hear your opinion on that, but my opinion on this story is wow. That entitled mother was the most vile creature out of all people in today's stories. How can you leave a little baby in a car that's over 110 degrees Fahrenheit? That person needs to be in jail, not a little stupid fine or a ticket. Let me know your thoughts on this, guys. That's all the stories I have for you today. Remember, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to this channel and Mr. Reddito Animation. Have a wonderful night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.